Could there be supply chain disruptions over arguments of higher pay and air conditioning in vehicles? Well, we'll see what happens as the Teamsters union and those UPS workers continue negotiations. And I'd love to hear from some of you out there. I know you guys listen. 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. Last week, there were practice pickets here in Springfield and across the country of UPS workers essentially practicing a strike. And this after talks broke down between the Teamsters union and the UPS management earlier this month. And they've got a July 31st deadline to come to some agreed terms and to get the union to support it. And what this could ultimately mean is if they do succeed in getting a contract, you could see higher pay for the drivers who deliver the goods that you order from online retailers. You could also see the air-conditioned vehicles for newer vehicles and possibly even an extra day off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Those are just some of the things that the union's looking for. But obviously, they've got to get all the terms put together. Now, what could possibly happen here if they don't come to terms? Well, it's possible the federal government could step in. I think you saw this recently with a different industry, with the rail industry, where the federal government looked to step in and get terms approved instead of having it go through this process where there could have been severe disruptions if there was no reconciliation of differences when it came to railroad workers and the railroad owners. But here we are. You've got 340,000 members as part of the Teamsters who are looking to get a variety of concessions. And again, they want to see higher pay, especially considering that UPS returned $8.6 billion to shareholders from dividends in 2022, and it's forecast they'll do $8.4 billion for shareholders this year. And you've got the Teamsters who are saying they should get some of that benefit. I'd love to hear from you. 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here with Springfield's Morning News. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Good morning.
Hey.
You know, I don't know what a UPS driver makes now. I worked for him 30 years ago, and I made really good money 30 years ago working for them. So I can't imagine where they're at now. But I mean, the whole dividend thing, though. I mean, that's what people invest in companies for. I mean, they invest in companies to make money, and they risk their money, just like anybody with a 401k. You know, you risk that money putting it in the market, and like first couple of years of Biden's campaign, you know, or his presidency, I took a hit, man. I took a big hit during COVID, but you know, it's started to come back. It's cyclical, but I mean, those guys got to make some good money. And the whole air conditioning thing, I don't know, what are they going to do? Are they going to put like camper air conditioners on top of those things? I don't know how they can keep those vehicles cool.
And one report I read was they would only look to modify or have air conditioning in newer vehicles. The vehicles currently on the road would not have that. But that may be a sticking point here. Or is that one of the things that maybe the union has put out there as, you know, something they could do away with just to get the higher pay and the extra day off for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, for instance, or some other concessions out there? Because that is part of the negotiation, right? You ask for the world, and you're happy only getting New Jersey.
Exactly. And then you're sad you got New Jersey. But
we should have stayed for the whole world. Well, but what do you think of the possibility of the federal government stepping in here? Because listen, there's no doubt there would be a severe shortage in the supply chain if the Teamsters go on strike and aren't out there delivering everything from medicine to medical goods to just, you know, that toy for your cat that you ordered on Amazon yesterday. You know, I mean, those are everything along those lines would be essentially grinding to a halt.
Yeah, I think UPS and FedEx have built themselves into essential businesses like the post office.
No question.
That they have to be out there. They have to be driving. They have to be delivering because they're such an integral part of the supply chain. I mean, they're not only moving, you know, my cat toy across the world, like you said. You know, they're moving stuff from Asia. They're moving stuff across countries. And it costs a lot of money to do that. The only thing this is going to do in the long run, I can see all of our rates going up again. It's going to get more and more expensive. Yeah. And it's going to cost us, I don't know, $40 to ship something to grandma in Idaho. It's just going to get more and more expensive.
Well, but I'm also curious if this could spur on possibly some kind of competition. Maybe like the likes of Amazon. They see this as an opportunity to say, you know what, if UPS can't do it, we'll just ramp up our own delivery systems. And they've already got electric vehicles out there. They've already got their own kind of transportation systems with semi-trucks and even smaller cargo trucks. So maybe that it'll open up an opportunity for somebody else to step in and fill that if there is indeed a strike.
Yeah, the thing I see though is the infrastructure on that, and Amazon's been looking for a long time. They have people that run out of their warehouses, like that warehouse in St. Louis, and I drive down by St. Louis once a week, and the Amazon trucks that are on the road down there, I mean, they're Sprinter vans, and they're home delivery trucks, and they go out loaded in the morning, and they deliver around a certain geography. But I mean, they would have to. The infrastructure. I don't know if they could stand it up that fast.
Yeah, it would have to be real quick. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of money, even though they've got a lot of money. But.
Jeff Bezos would have to sell one of his yachts. Appreciate the call, 217-629-7970. So we've got until July 31st to see some kind of reconciliation here, or you could have some supply chain issues. Reading a comment here on YouTube says all vehicles should have heat and AC, and with the cost of living and everything raising, why shouldn't they get a raise? So obviously we'll be looking at this and monitoring it as it plays out, but you've got a July 31st deadline that's just around the corner, and the contract negotiations continuing. So who knows what happens next? Appreciate you guys tuning in, and would love to hear from you. If you want to email me off air, you can do that. Just email me, bishoponair@gmail.com. bishoponair@gmail.com. One other comment here from YouTube says, yes, Amazon has random people in personal vehicles who show up in your driveway in the middle of the night. How is UPS going to compete with that? So I don't know about that necessarily, but still, obviously a lot of ins and outs when it comes to contract negotiations, especially in the private sector. All right, 6:48 now on WMA.